Welcome to the Kevin Clancy Show. I've been in this game over a decade, and I knew I needed a place where I could run wild on my own solo podcast, where I tell personal stories, I deep dive into conspiracy theories, we rip through the current events of the day, and we do sit-down conversations with the most interesting people on the internet. Make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Don't even know if I'm on the air or not now, but this happened last time. Show them, yeah. We just run right into a Feidelberg Saturdays Are for the Boys promo as the show starts. I'm getting thumbs up. I don't know. I'm still looking at it. Yeah, we're live? Okay. So we're live. Smooth, baby. It's the Kevin Clancy Show with some technical difficulties. Let's go. I completely fucked myself this morning. Totally fucked myself. I had my breakfast, which I'll talk about in a second, and I finished up, and it was 9:57 and 46 seconds. And I had to go to the bathroom. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to make it in time, and so I just didn't. Now I'm going to have to pee for the next hour and a half. That's fucking poor planning. That's what that is. That is poor radio programming planning right there. So now I'm going to be uncomfortable this whole goddamn show. The reason why I was even eating my breakfast, though, I was going to eat afterwards. The Bagel Pub opened. Life-changing, momentous occasion right here for your boy KFC. Right across the street from HQ is a new spot called the Bagel Pub. Apparently it opened up a couple weeks ago. This neighborhood here, we are right by Madison Square Garden. It has a bunch of stuff to eat, but none of it is really what you want. There's like a Five Guys and a Popeyes and Subway, and like there's options. If someone said like I need to eat, I could tell you places to go. Then there's the healthy thing. There's places to get salads. All these fucking people who eat healthy, they go there. Sweet Greens and dig dirt or whatever the fuck it's called. So there's no just like place that had like cold cuts and no place that had good bagels. Crazy that nowhere in this neighborhood was there a good bagel spot. The closest one was like 10 blocks away. All the bagels are just those shitty bagels that you get at like bodegas. Nobody likes those. All of a sudden I'm walking by and I see this sign that says, "Stop in and chill out with our watermelon lemonade." I was like, "Oh, that sounds good." And then I look in, I see the Bagel Pub that has not only every fucking kind of bagel you want, and it looks like they make them there on the premises and they're all good. It has, I'm going to send you this picture, Nick. I took a picture of their freezer case, their refrigerator. This thing that Nick's about to put up in a second is just their cream cheeses. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 27 different cream cheeses. That is, wait, what did I say? No, 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah. I mean, look at some of these fucking flavors we've got here. We've got Nutella chip cream cheese. We've got honey bacon sriracha cream cheese. We've got, and when you see these things, oh my God, it's like this little like mountain of heaven with all these different flavors. They got everything. They got sun-dried tomato cream cheese. Are you kidding me? They got the lox mixed in there. Guacamole cream cheese if you're feeling like spicy and Mexican. This is going to be a whole new life for me right here. And it comes at a bad time because I actually reached my my fattest breaking point. Oh, they also have tofu spread. If you're out here getting bagels with tofu, you're nodding your head? You eat that? Oh, okay, good. If you get a bagel and you get tofu spread, get the fuck out of here. Look at that case. That is just cream cheeses. Just good old mountains of cream cheese with every flavor. A Nutella cream. What kind of bagel can we rock with a Nutella cream cheese with chocolate drizzle? Probably just a plain, right?
Yeah, I would think so. That or like, you might be able to do cinnamon raisin with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a desserty type bagel. I just like finally reached my breaking point of being fat. And I was like, I have to do something. The way I operate is like, I need to reach my breaking point about 5 times before I actually start to do something. Before I make a life change, where it's like, all right, you really got to like get a new place or clean this place up or stop being fat or go get, go pay those bills or, like I just put everything off into the last possible point, and I've been doing that with my fat body, and it's got to stop. But you know what doesn't help that is the fucking bagel pub opening. I was about to be like, all right, I'll just be one of those losers who eats at the salad places. And now the bagel pub opens, and it's like this heavenly castle of bagels with 25 different fucking cream cheese spreads. Ugh. Why do you forsake me, God? Damn it. But whatever. Lunch is about to get real fucking good up in here, baby. All right, we're gonna rip through a few topics that I've been doing on 1 Minute Man and some things that I've come across outside of KFC Radio. I did it yesterday. Let me see how many views we're at because I think it was a monster one that I think people were like, holy fucking shit. But the video of the girls partying with O.J. Simpson is absolutely staggering. If you haven't seen the video, yeah, it's at 2.5 million. Go to KFC Barstool. You can see the video there. Because now, basically, I've been told, real quick note, if you are a 1 Minute Man fan, you just have to watch the videos on my page because nothing is allowed to be published on the main Barstool Sports channel anymore because of Instagram rules, because of copyright rules, because of all these new internet rules that we just bow down, we just bend the knee, we just roll over and let the internet pet our bellies like little bitches that we are. We can't post anything on Instagram anymore. No viral videos can be on there. We can't even do screenshots of the viral videos where it's like, oh, okay, we don't have rights to that video. We can't post it, but we'll just take a picture of like the moment. Nope, can't even do a screenshot. We were told we're only allowed to use like Getty images that we pay for. Now they're taking those out. Like, how am I supposed to make a visual piece of content if I'm not allowed to put any videos or pictures in there? It's crazy. So I don't know what they're expecting me to do. But if you go to my personal page, because it's not like the whole company, it's, I don't know, different rules. So if you go to my page, you'll see the actual O.J. Simpson video we were talking about. This video, can you pull it up on this? Yeah. So this video was posted on this Miami dude. He's this Miami guy who like does auctions and memorabilia, which is funny because we know that's what OJ got popped for. But it was just randomly posted to this guy. I think his name was like Andrew something or other, Andrew Fernandez or some shit. And it looks like he's like an old middle-aged man. It looks like he's partying with OJ and a bunch of blonde chicks from Miami. And they're bursting into OJ's bedroom, like waking him up with flashing lights and playing music, and you hear this one girl go, "Wakey, wakey, hand off the snakey," and they're like goofing with him and flirting with him. My brain can't process that. And I guess the problem here is that you're talking about girls who are probably, they were probably maybe alive when all the O.J. Simpson shit went down? That 1994? So you'd be what? How old?
Yeah, there's no chance they were alive.
Yeah, no, not even. Not even close. Yeah, you'd be almost like 30 then, right? Yeah. No, so these girls were not even close to alive when O.J. was getting. Oh man, I'm getting old, dude. My rule used to always be, if a girl was not alive when Biggie and Tupac were alive, she's too young. That was my cutoff. So OJ was even before that. But I feel like these girls are probably like, 20-something, probably like in college, down at the U. And so they're probably just like, oh, OJ, like that old guy who does those videos on Twitter and has some followers, and like, oh yeah, he was involved in some scandal or whatever, but like he's not in jail. Not understanding
they all think he just like got canceled.
Yeah,
like they're
right.
all like, oh, OJ got canceled back in the 90s. No.
He chopped a woman's head off, allegedly, supposedly. Like, people don't quite grasp what O.J. Simpson was involved in because it's old. They weren't there for the chase. They weren't there for the case. They weren't there for the verdict. Like, he took a knife, allegedly, and, like, diced up two people completely and totally. Almost severed his ex-wife's head and, like, painted the backyard red with her friend's blood, allegedly. And these girls are like, let's party. And I'll tell you what's even worse than the fact that he's allegedly a cold-blooded double murderer. He's 74. Like, he's just an old, gross dude now. And it's not like he's a rich one. Like, I understand when girls are fucking Hugh Hefner and stuff. But O.J. Simpson is like broke as a joke. I mean, I'm sure. I always wonder, what kind of life do you think O.J. lives? Like, I feel like he's always on the golf course, right? So do you think he's like golfing for free? Do you think he like gets hooked up? Do you think he
definitely.
like drives nice cars and gets like reservations at places? Or
we've had this conversation on KFC Radio before where we were like, OJ has a better life than you.
Yeah, right.
It's right.
We did say
because
that.
I remember it because it was right after we had Bill Burr on, and he was like shouting us out on his podcast, and he went to our Instagram and was like, O.J. Simpson has a better life than you. What the fuck is this? Like, it was amazing.
I've never seen that. That's
amazing. It's a great clip. He's like what? It said like O.J. Simpson has more friends with you. That was the whole graphic,
bro. Listen, Bill, it's true. I mean, like, there's a lot of people out there who are probably living a much shittier life than O.J. Simpson, which is horrible. Listen, you want to? I've gone back and forth. I've argued many times with people about the nature of cancel culture, and it's been something that has, completely taken over the discussion in pop culture the last few years. And I've always argued, that I obviously used to be on the side of like, we can say whatever we want and don't cancel me, and then those people became such whiny crybabies that I took the opposite side because it was kind of like, shut the fuck up. And I think that a lot of that has been proven true. Like, I feel like Louis C.K. winning a Grammy Sunday night is like the perfect example. It's like, yeah, listen, you can go through some shit. You say some things, you do some things, you cross some lines, you're going to be punished for it. But like, yeah, a few years later, you're winning a fucking Grammy again. But the fact that O.J. Simpson is out here, like I said, at country clubs and restaurants and partying with girls and just making videos. I mean, that's probably the number one example for like there are no consequences for anything or anybody. O.J. Simpson living out his life, like living his best life until he fucking kicks the bucket. There's a guy who we just need to die. That's a guy that we can all just hope and pray that day comes soon, and when it does, be like, good riddance, get off the fucking planet Earth. Like, when people, not to make this all morbid, because it is more of just like a holy shit viral video. I was saying the other day, like, Chris Rock once famously said, as a father, you got one job in life with your daughter, and that's to keep her off the pole. I would argue you have two goals in life. Number 2 is keep her off the pole. Number 1 is to keep her from partying with O.J. Simpson. Like, imagine those girls' dads looking at that video, seeing your daughter all decked out, all dolled up in a tiny dress with their makeup on, banging down the door of a 74-year-old double murderer. Like, woo! Where did we go wrong? Imagine that those girls have brothers, they have boyfriends, they have fathers, they have parents and grandparents and shit. Oh, how was your weekend, honey? Oh, it was good. I just stayed in. We just hang out at the dorms with the girls. I studied a little bit. Check TikTok. She was fucking O.J. I mean, one of those girls fucked O.J. Simpson.
Definitely.
Like, yeah, right? Like, let's call it like it is. Not only did one of those girls fuck O.J. Simpson, they probably fought over who gets to fuck O.J. Simpson, which is some real dirtball, low-level, scumbag, hoochie hoe bag shit. And that's, I said it on 1 Minute Man, but if you ever need any further proof that chicks are the worst, look no further than this. Of course, we're generalizing here. Of course, we're stereotyping. But these are the kind of girls that guys are on dating apps, trying to match with, trying to go out with, and these girls are swiping them away. You're under 6 feet. Goodbye. You don't make 6 figures. Goodbye. Your dick's shorter than 6 inches. Won't even look your way. But O.J. Simpson, yeah, I'll fuck that guy. I'll suck on his old balls. I'll put that old shrivelly dick inside me. And when we have conversation, I'll just ignore the fact that he chopped off the last blonde girl's head, allegedly. It's just sickening. I got the guys behind the glass pointing at me every time I say allegedly smartly. I learned my lesson. It's just, like, remember that, guys. Remember that the next time you're bummed out that some, like, tall, skinny blonde didn't match with you or denied you or ghosted you or didn't fuck you or whatever. It's because she's busy getting dicked down by a double murderer, allegedly. That's the truth of the matter. So hold your head up high. You're going to be 5'10", decent job, nice guy. You're way ahead of fucking guys who chopped off other girls' heads. Not literally, because, they're fucking him, but, you can maybe, hopefully lay your head down at night and feel good. But, like, what do you talk about with O.J. Simpson? What are those, like, okay, let's play this out. They wake up O.J. Simpson. He gets out of bed, showers quick, he's ready to go. And then it's like, okay, Juice, what now?
Dude, I feel like it's the same thing you would talk to, like, Stephen Shea about mock drafts and the next NFL prospects. Just like
going on a date with O.J. Simpson is the same thing as going on a date with Stephen Shea, just a little less murder talk. How about that? Hello, world, it's me, O.J. Simpson. He put out a video after the Will Smith thing, and it in a strange way, even I had to be like, well, okay, you got a point. He was talking about how you can't react the way that Will Smith did, and he was like, look at me, man. I've been the butt of every comedian's joke. My family's been dragged. Everybody's made fun of me, and I've never reacted that way. And I was like, well, on the one hand, yeah, you're right. You've got a pretty long fuse. On the other hand, you probably recognize that you got away with double murder, and maybe you shouldn't rock the boat. Yeah, like, it's allegedly. I just feel like maybe the comparison is just missing a couple pieces there, in the sense that you allegedly murdered 2 people. But yeah, man, if I ever saw that, I mean, what do you do? Like, you have to just acknowledge that you have completely, totally, and utterly lost the thread. If your daughter is fucking OJ. Oh, my God. I can't. You know in the movie Taken, when Liam Neeson breaks into that like big castle where they're having the sex party, and down in the basement they're selling the girls, and Liam Neeson like breaks into one of those like rooms and takes over the guy and blah, blah, blah. And then the dude, like the ringleader, is like, what's the commotion here? And he's like, that's my daughter. And the guy is like, oh, my God. He's like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm a dad, too. Like, truly, I'm sorry. This is not, not meant to be like this. We don't want it to happen this way. I'm a businessman, but I'm also a father. I feel bad for you that, you have to watch your daughter be sold into slavery. That's that moment right there. It's almost as bad as seeing your daughter party with O.J. Simpson. Like, there is some bastard, just his phone's blowing up, and his buddies are sending him that, and coworkers are looking at him, and it's like, yep, that's my beautiful, Stacy. She's down at the U. Fucking just kill yourself. We also had the rapper Gunu. Never heard of him. This rapper tragically got murdered a few weeks ago, which also makes this story weird. If you saw the video I put up yesterday, the rapper was tragically killed. Then his family had him. I mean, you're not stuffed when you're a human. You're not. It's not taxidermy when you're a human, right? But it kind of is. They had him, his body prepared by a funeral home. Then they brought him into the club and propped him up and let the whole club party with him. Which, they did a good job. That looks like him just standing there up on stage. But they didn't tell the club that's what they were doing. They just brought him. So they contacted Bliss DC and they said, "Hey, we're gonna celebrate our boy's life." They were like, "Cool," which is a little weird in general, but whatever. He's a rapper, and like, okay, so we have like a life celebration here, and then they just like smuggled him in, which is some Weekend at Bernie shit, to be honest. Like, hey, can you open that door for me? The idea of Weekend at Bernieing your buddy who's a rapper and just like smuggling him into the club. I mean, that's why the movie Weekend at Bernie's plays, because somebody had to like put their arm over him, like over the shoulder, kind of like wiggle him in, right? Like if you're telling the people in the club that you're doing it, you could probably wheel him in on like a stretcher. If you're doing it on the low, you've got to smuggle in a dead body and then get him up on the club. Like, how long do you think it took before the people, the bouncers and the managers and shit knew what was going on?
The first time I saw that video, I couldn't tell that he was dead. Like, it does look like just a guy standing there.
Another example of how ridiculous Instagram has gotten. The Barstool guys told me I couldn't put that on their channel. It just looks like a fucking guy standing there. It's not like it's a dead, mangled body. It's just a dude with clothes on. You would never know. If you walked in that club, and that's what happened, by the way. So because the club didn't know, they didn't like advertise it as such. So there might have been people, fans of this guy, who were like, "Oh, I loved Gunu. Like, he was from my neighborhood. Let's go to this party." And all of a sudden, thanks, just leave it open for me. And all of a sudden, you're partying, you dance, you're looking around, and you'd be like, "That guy is just standing really still. Wait a minute, that looks like Gunu. He's just standing super fucking still." And then halfway through your night, you realize you're just partying with a dead body. On the one hand, I think it's super gangster. I've seen, this is not totally new. My favorite are when they have the Puerto Rican gangsters and they stuff them and they prop them up at the little poker tables with their cards. That's awesome. Or the dominoes and shit. That's super cool. I want to go out like that. But that's in your house.
What, would you be propped up next to John in the studio?
Yeah. Well, I said, like, a lot of times they were like, we're going to put him on stage because that's what he loved doing. Or these guys that are playing poker and dominoes, that's what they love doing with the boys. I was thinking, when I'm dead, stuff my ass. Stuff my ass, my dead body. Just stuff that ass up. And prop me up doing what I love most. But if we're being real about that, it would be just me alone in my living room watching TV. So, it's kind of like you can't really celebrate my life and enjoy me if my final wishes are just to be left alone just leave me on the couch watching TV until I just like rot like a hoarder when they have to like go through the garbage and find the dead body. Like my neighbors will just have to go up there and be like, there's Kevin. He's dead on the couch watching TV again. But the Gunu move, I'm pretty sure I'm down with it, but let's just keep everything above board. You got to tell the club. It's common courtesy to call the place of business that will be hosting your funeral party and tell them we'll be bringing a dead body. That shouldn't be something that the club has to be like, okay, yeah, so it'll be like $40 to get in. We'll have this guy DJing for the night. Yep, top shelf liquor will be available. Will you be bringing a dead corpse with you? Okay, you will? All right, let me check that box. Let me prepare the stage for the dead body. Not really their job. Pretty sure that one falls on you to make sure we cover our dead body bases here. Also in the news, I'm a little late on this one because it popped off last Friday when I was getting ready for my sister's wedding over the weekend. Sydney Sweeney's grandparents saying that she has the best tits in Hollywood is, I think, the greatest compliment you can get on a pair of tits. I wholeheartedly agree. I think anyone who says otherwise is a buffoon. I'm sure Nick's out there picking out a good pair right now to put up for some evidence. But Sydney Sweeney, the girl from Euphoria, is like the Hollywood. They call him the Hollywood it girl. Sydney Sweeney's the Hollywood tit girl. And not since, I guess, Alexander Daddario. Not since Alexander Daddario has a pair of tits taken over the internet quite like her. I would say it goes in reverse chronological order. I would say it goes Sydney Sweeney, Daddario, Kate Upton. Can't think of whose tits come before or after Kate Upton. Those are the last three in order, I feel like. Girls who took over with their tits. Because let's face it, we live in an ass world now. We live in an ass world ever since J-Lo. Jennifer Lopez will go to her grave being one of the greatest entertainers of all time. She's like a quadruple threat. She can act, she can sing, she can dance, she does bilingual, she does it all. But her greatest contribution to the world will be that ass. And changing the world's perspective on fat asses, because we lived in a flat ass world. We went from flat ass to fat ass because of J-Lo. It was all supermodels and white girls and Cindy Crawfords and Kathy Irelands and those kind of girls, and the chicks who had badonks had to just like hide, and everybody who just like had their back go into their ass, go into their thighs, Taylor Swift style. They were the it. They were the shit. J-Lo came along and made asses like you have to have one. And then it became what Ludacris said, the new phenomenon, white women with ass. Eventually, somehow, it became every ethnicity had a fat ass, had a fat booty. And so right now, we are still smack in the middle of the ass golden era. Asses have had a chokehold on the world since J-Lo, since like Vita Guerra. You remember her? Vita Guerra on Stuff Magazine, on Maxim Magazine, FHM. Vita Guerra was the girl who let me know that I was an ass man. I saw her pictures and I was like, what is that? What? Like, I have never seen a butt look like that before. And that's when I knew that we were, in the middle of something special when it comes to cheeks, to them cheeks. But that doesn't mean, at the end of the day, tits are still, I can't say they reign supreme, but there's still something about tits that'll always be primal and carnal, where it's like, you need a good pair of tits, right? And so there's always like one girl in the industry that has them, and right now is Sydney Sweeney. She's top notch. Now, the fact that her grandparents are talking about them, on the one hand, is a testament to their greatness. On the other hand, it's a testament to how weird the Sweeney family might be. You know what I'm saying? Kind of weird. Like, you call your granddaughter beautiful. You call your granddaughter, like, oh, she's got a great body. That's about it. That's really where I feel like the compliment should end when you're talking about, her physical appearance. But to say that she's got Hollywood's greatest tits is really like, hey, listen, there's no denying it. It's just sitting right in front of our faces. But I said the hierarchy of people, of different people giving tit compliments. Bronze medal is guys complimenting your tits. Because, on the one hand, that's what most straight women are looking for, right? They want guys to think that they have nice tits. But that's what guys do. We like tits. So it's almost like when a guy tells you, oh, it's the best blowjob I've ever gotten. Oh, it's the best head I've ever had. It's like, we're probably just saying that so you suck our dick again. Probably just trying to, make you confident. To be like, oh, great boobs, right? That's where that's what we're supposed to say, really. So that's why the silver medal is girls complimenting you on your tits, because girls inherently hate each other. They're all vicious cats who deep down hate each other. They're all, even when they say they're friends, they're not. The closer they are, the more they probably hate each other, whether it's family or friends. The more that they talk nicely about them in front of you, the more they probably talk badly behind their back. You can't have more than 2 or 3 of them in a room at the same time, because they are just backstabbing evil people who are on the prowl looking to party with O.J. Simpson. That's just what chicks are. But when you can get another girl to be like, yo, that girl, she got great boobs, that means you've got great tits, because you are getting the compliment from someone who deep down hates it like poison, the fact that they got to say something nice about your bombs. But then that gold medal is if you've got such great tits, grandparents, and not just any grandparents, your grandparents are acknowledging how nice they are. Not just being like, oh, they're great, being like, oh, all the other famous people who have great tits don't have tits as good as yours. Sydney Sweeney, I don't know if that makes you feel good or weird in the moment, but I guess she's bragging about it on whatever interview she was doing. So I'm just trying to put myself in her shoes. Like if I feel like if your grandparents are like, hey, sweetie, how are you? You got I've got kids, and I'm like, if my mom or dad was ever like, you've got the best tits in the game, I'd be like, shut the fuck up, mom and dad. Why are you talking about her like that? That's fucking weird. But I guess that's the power of those bombs, man. They are that big that that, as always, when you break it down to real life, when I put myself in celebrity shoes, where I'm like, yeah, what if my grandparents actually said that? What if my parents actually said that about my kids? If my kids were partying with OJ and their grandparents were talking about their tits, let's just say I would feel like I've gone south as a father. I feel like I've done everything wrong as a parent if that was the case. Which brings me to my next topic, the participation trophies. Did you get that one, Nick? Did Feidelberg send that over?
He did not send it over yet.
Motherfucker. Let me see if he texted me back. He said he did. He just said, yep, just sent. He said that at 10 o'clock.
Let me look.
Right.
In the meantime.
Yeah, look, I mean, I love the behind the scenes magic there. What did you Google for the old lady, Nick?
Old lady looking at computer. I just know that meme.
Feidelberg was watching this TikTok the other day, and I believe Nate has blogged about this. I know Nate gets hot and bothered about the participation trophies because we're talking about parenting here, and when you talk about parenting this day and age, the participation trophy thing comes up all the time. Participate. Nate really gets bothered by it.
I've got it. I'll have it up in a sec.
You have it up? Yeah, run that.
One sec. Everything in this account is signed into TJ, so I'm just trying to balance through that real quick.
No big deal. It started the participation Oh my God. Participation. I can't say it. Participation trophy joke that Jeff Foxworthy made like a week ago was kind of making the rounds on the internet that the millennial generation has now taken great offense to. Jeff Foxworthy, Netflix tweeted it out. It said, it was a 4-panel tweet that said, I played every sport. And if you wanted and it was weird back then, if you wanted a trophy, you had to finish in first place. And everyone's like, yeah, that's what we did when we were kids, right? And everybody gets upset about this participation trophy shit because it's bred a generation of losers and crybabies and all this other shit, right? So now the millennials, I guess, have decided to fight back. Do we have this video yet? Yeah, all right. Play this video.
Hey kid, you did good out there. You might not have won, but I made you this participation trophy that you didn't ask for that I'm now gonna give to you. Aw, thank you so much. I didn't ask for it, but you know, it's shiny and I'm a literal child, so I appreciate it. Thank you. Wow. You know, back in my day, we actually had to, work for shit that was given to it. You're just getting your little fucking... How are you not ashamed? Like, honestly. Hey, what the where is this coming from, dude? I'm gonna hold this against your general age range continuously for like at least the next 30 years. That's how mad I am. Maybe I'm misunderstanding. I'm a child and you started this whole interaction. Are you really telling me I have to like be on the receiving end of like this weird unchecked anger for like when I'm an adult? Because I don't think that seems fair. Yeah, well, life ain't fair, kid. I'm an asshole.
Now listen, there's a lot of truth to that. I do understand the point of like, we were little kids. If you were the ones who decided to give out trophies and buttons and plaques and those ribbons. Remember those ribbons fucking sucked. That's the other thing. When we talk about participation trophies, I don't think I ever really got a trophy. I would get a ribbon with the little circle on top and that dangly thing, and I would take those and I would throw it in the fucking trash because those were absolute garbage. A trophy I would proudly post up. A ribbon would just go right in the garbage, and it didn't turn me into some, like, oh, I expect to win at every turn because one time I got a ribbon at, like, Boy Scout camp or fucking whatever the shit you guys did when you were kids.
Yeah, I was always getting mocked for getting those fucking things. It was
That's
like,
what I mean.
It was like, yeah, I want one with a number on it.
Yeah,
let
I
me
want
work
the
a little
trophy.
harder.
I want the plaque. I don't want the participation thing. So I don't think it actually bred this generation the way they think it is. But I do understand what they're talking about. And now I think the joke has spun back the other direction where it's like, I don't think people are blaming the kids for accepting the participation trophies, but I do think there is some level of like, it's not as competitive and it's not as like cutthroat as it once was, and that probably stems from that sort of lifestyle, I guess. But I guess, I was trying to think through which side I'm really on, and I guess at the end of the day, the people deciding to give out the trophies are probably the ones that are that age and complaining now. Because I know this now. As a parent, I don't want my kid to grow up being like soft when it comes to losing. But man, when they are like playing a game or on a team or competing in something, I'm like, please God, just let this go well enough that they're not crying. And if some kid gets some shit and they don't, it's supposed to be a moment where I have to step up and parent and be like, well, son, you sucked today. And so you got to practice and get better so that you're not a loser at life. I don't want to do that. I want to be like, here's a ribbon. You get a ribbon. They get a trophy, but you get a ribbon. Now let's go home and watch TV. That's, that's what it comes down to. I got enough shit else to worry about that I don't have to worry about whether or not the fucking 5-year-old is crying because someone got to walk home with a little statue. I can just understand the idea of like, here, whatever, to make you stop crying, to make you happy again. Oh, what up, Za? What up, baby?
How we doing, bro?
There's my
How we
guy.
doing? My bad. I'm sorry. I'm late, man.
All good. How was the weekend, man?
Good.
You chop it up?
I was at some party in the city on Friday, somewhere nowhere, like around the corner from here.
Look at you still partying in the city. I fucking love it, man.
No, but it was good. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, dude. We had the wedding this weekend. My sister got married.
Oh, shit. Congratulations.
Bro,
Look at that.
I can't even tell you. I mean, the wedding, we get the kids ready at like noon to get there for pictures, to then get there for the, whatever. And then I didn't even like get fucked up. I just drank a little, partied a little. Night ended around like 1:30. The next day, I was sick. Fucking sick. Not hungover. I was ill. My body hurt, and I was coughing. I had a fever. I was like, dude, I am so washed up. I can't even go to a wedding, for my family, not even for my friends, where I was raging. It's a sad state of affairs here for your boy.
I'm still trying to hang on, man. They're hurting now. But
Are you?
I am
Is it starting to get
holding on
bad?
Oh, yeah. They're starting to get bad. I'm what,
See, that breaks
32
my
this
heart.
year?
Because I at least usually there's always somebody I had beneath me, younger than me, that I could live through vicariously. But now even those people are getting old enough.
Yeah.
That's the true sign of getting old, is when even your young friends are old. Because that means that's it.
Toast.
That means you got nobody to even try to live through vicariously. That means that, like, even that, because then you'd have to be the creepy old guy who goes like 20 years younger to even hang out and like have a good time. By the way, did you see Dave talking about the Bitcoin conference?
Yeah, was he on the list?
I don't think he was on the poster.
I was looking at it, but I got bad eyes.
Dude,
He tweeted, if I'm in the small print, I'm backing out. I think they left him off the small print.
they did. They did. I got confirmation that the list, can we pull that up on Dave's Twitter? He posted he is talking at the Bitcoin conference this year down in Miami. And they have a whole shit ton of speakers. Like a lot. And they put up their poster and they make it look like Coachella. Can you go full screen with that so that the people can see just how many names there really are there? It's a lot of people all the way down. I mean, that's got to be what? 100 people on that list?
Bitcoin Marty
200?
on that.
300? So Dave tweeted it and said, I swear to God, if my name is one of the people in small print, I'm dropping out. I'm not going. Well, the only thing worse than being a name in the small print is not being on the list at all. Yikes.
I feel like they did it on purpose.
What?
I feel like they knew what they were doing. They had to have known.
I feel like there's somebody there who like probably doesn't like Dave, who was did that on purpose. I feel like there's somebody there who probably like Dave and is like, you fucking idiot, we're gonna change this and we're gonna get a poster with him like huge name at the top now.
Because I thought they tweeted about it when he bought.
I'm sure they did, but I feel like they just have the people who they think are more important. I mean, last year I know that Tim Dillon and Jake Paul were speakers. I don't know about the other like 100 people that were on the list, but I know Dillon hosted I think a Q&A, and Jake Paul was there. But what was funny was last year, Bitcoin had its huge year, and they set up the conference in Miami or whatever, and right before the conference, it plummeted. It was a fucking morgue. And I just remember Tim Dillon on stage. I wasn't there, but I just remember, I think he posted it as like a podcast. It was him, the Winklevosses, Jake Paul, and a bunch of like Bitcoin guys. And they were trying to do this Q&A and be like all positive and like gung-ho about it. And Tim Dillon was just like, oh, Bitcoin's dead. This shit is dead. He was mocking the fuck out of the entire idea of it, because it dropped like 29% the day before. And he was like, well, we're here in a morgue. We're here in a fucking actual funeral for Bitcoin. So I don't know what Dave was planning on doing.
These were his like tenets he said he was going to talk about. And it's all like Peter Schiff is an idiot. The price of one Bitcoin is one Bitcoin.
What is that? 5-6 tenets of Dave Portnoy Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin equals 1 Bitcoin. He bought like $1 million worth of Bitcoin recently, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like that should at least buy you medium-sized print. At the very least, medium size. You know, because there's these guys who have like hundreds of millions of dollars worth of it. They probably get the big font. But to be left off altogether,
that's the whole.
I mean, I feel like he can't go now.
Isn't that the whole Bill Gates gives medical advice argument where, because he's got money, he can talk like he's a doctor kind of thing?
I mean, you said it, not me, brother. That's I would think that's a good comparison, yes. Yeah, the large size font Bitcoin guys are, I feel like there's going to be a whole new host of enemies now for Dave that like they don't even know what's going on. They're like, "Wait, what do you mean? What? Oh, because of the Bitcoin poster, I now have Dave Portnoy like wanting to dance on my grave. What the fuck, man? You never know. You can get pulled into a Dave Portnoy battle for literally nothing, just being on a goddamn poster. Let me tweet out the number. What is it again? I never remember it.
888 Stool 22.
888
Stool 22.
Stool 22, but I never know the numbers. People hate when you put the fucking words up there.
So it's 888-786
Let's tweet that out.
6522.
Call up live now. We'll get the calls going in a second. In the meantime, have to give a very big shout out to the New York Post. I think I mentioned this last week, but they have continued on with their dominance. The New York Post has had a content renaissance. I'm talking like 2009 when I first started blogging. The New York Post basically kept me afloat as a blogger. I would just go to nypost.com every day, and I would find all my blog material there because they were just like a smut website like we were. They would just post shit that they wanted for clicks and excitement and just smut that like everybody is their guilty pleasure. And I made fun of them about a month ago because they were putting up just garbage, like just boring stories about boring people. And ever since then, they have been on fucking fire. They posted about the girl who was like a month away from her dream wedding, and she went snooping on her husband's computer, and she found this folder that just had pictures of all of her coworkers and all of her family and like weird porn. It was all of her friends in like bikinis and shit, and the husband just had a secret folder with pictures of them. And it was right before her dream wedding. She had to call the whole thing off, and then she made a TikTok about it. That's what the Post does. They just troll TikTok for people who have no shame and just post like their most embarrassing, despicable moments on TikTok for the world to see. And they also had this guy, they posted this story about the man who got caught masturbating on the plane. The kicker here being that he jerked off 4 times on the plane. The girl who was sitting there took pictures and video of it and reported him and said he jerked off 4 times in the first hour of the flight and then passed out for like the next 3 hours. How many times do you let someone masturbate next to you before you cause a scene? Because I'm going to go ahead and say 4 is about 3 too many.
I've been on Southwest. I mean, you got to fight for that front seat. If you got a good seat, you don't want to fucking give it up real quick. Like
So
you might let a few fly.
Yeah. That I could get down with. The idea of like I got a perfect seat, I'm in a good situation, they're gonna offer me a chance to move, and I do not want to go to the back of that fucking plane. I'm not sitting next to the bathroom on Southwest. I'd rather this guy just throw some squids on the floor next to me. No big deal. It depends on the airline. It really does. You're right. Because if you fly on these things like Spirit and Southwest and I don't even know the other ones, all the garbage ones out there that are like, they're like the megabus of the air, you know? Like it's $1 to fly, but you know exactly what you're getting. You got to recognize when if you're on a jerk-off plane or not. Like if I fly JetBlue, nobody better jerk off on me. If I fly Southwest, I walk on that plane being like, I might get jerked off on today. That just might happen. You know, you're on Spirit Airlines and you're battling to jump on this tin can that may or may not, fly in the air, may or may not get you there alive, and you might get jerked off on. Them's the breaks. But 4 times? What's going on back there?
Zod just picked up like halfway through that.
So
I was like, what the fuck?
That's what I
are you
figured
talking
happened.
about?
I was doing the calls, and all I hear was jerked off. Spirit Airlines. I was like, what the fuck is
Yeah, man, some guy jerked off on a plane 4 fucking times in the first hour, which I got to tip my cap to his bounce back.
Yeah, the recoil. Jesus.
Yeah, that reload is, I mean, these days I jerk off. I'm good for like probably the day. I used to go 3 for 4, I used to put up multiple hits a day. Now I'm like, yeah, I'm just like DiMaggio. I just got a 56-game hit streak. 1 hit a day, 1 for 4. I'm never not getting on base. But I'm not, my slugging percentage is garbage. But my on base percentage, through the roof. But on the one hand, I think you got to have some self-respect and speak up. On the other hand, snitches get stitches. And I feel like if it was me, because I don't want to get some guy arrested because he's a little horned up. He's got some airplane. He's got some 30,000 feet hornies. Listen, everybody, we all get a little horny on a plane, right? You start thinking Mile High Club. You start looking at some strangers. Maybe you see an attractive stewardess. Is there one thing that has fallen off more than the stewardess? I feel like, back in the day, people are ripping cigs on the plane, and the flight attendants were goddamn near strippers. They all looked hot, and they were all fucking pilots and just sluts who traveled the world. And it was like, you're basically a stripper in the air. And now it's like, oh, God.
It's those same stewardesses. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
And it's exactly right. Now you're basically, it went from strippers of the air to like toll booth operators of the air. And that ain't good. You don't want to be that. But I don't want somebody to like lose their job or have to register on the sex offender list because they got the Spirit Airlines hornies. So I appreciate that. I appreciate the 4 count. Because when that guy wakes up and he's like drunk and his dick's out and he's like, wait, what? And the people are like pulling him off and cuffing him. And he looks at you like, what the fuck, man? Like, I thought we were in this together. I'd be like, yo, you jerked off 4 times. I gave you 4 fucking strikes, man. That I feel like you got to earn some credit. To me, that's like, if that was me, I'd be like, okay, I deserve it. 4 times, 3 times too many. You get 1. 2, if the person next to you is nice. 3, if they're like a pushover like me. 4 times, we're calling the principal. Let's get to the calls.
I once put a bathroom out of order on a transatlantic flight. Took a ship, bro, just as we took off from JFK, probably 2 hours into a 15-hour flight. No. Went in there, the fucking thing wouldn't flush. Then I had to tell someone.
Yeah,
I had to tell someone. They came.
Was it like? Did you do damage, or was it the toilet's fault? Like, was it like the toilet couldn't handle a normal amount, or did you really
do damage? But I liked to. I was leaning more.
Yeah, like anybody. It could have happened to anybody, sort of thing.
It was so
15 hours, bro.
It was so embarrassing. Them bringing out the yellow tape and fucking taping it shut, and it was like, I was.
There was more than one bathroom. Though,
yeah, but I mean, it's that yellow tape,
and you're just like, yep, that's me. Shout out me. All right, 888-STOOL-22. Let's go to the calls. Let's start with, we'll go whoever's been on hold the longest. So we'll start with Brendan. What up, Brendan? Just want to talk about the New York Mets. What's up, Brendan?
Kevin, are you ready for another year of just pain?
Pain for the Mets? Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm always ready for pain with the Mets. That's the thing is I have gotten I have a new perspective because of Steve Cohen, and I think in the long run he will turn things around. But we are just a couple years removed from it's basically like we're people who just got out of prison. It's like I did.
So I took the bait a few weeks ago.
Oh no!
I took the bait on it.
Oh no! What did you do? Just got your hopes up?
I started to get my hopes up, man. I'm same as you.
How could you not though? I don't blame you. We had DeGrom, we had Scherzer. We're looking at Pete coming back and hitting 40 bombs, and we're gonna have Lindor be himself, and this, that, the other thing. We got Marte. We're spending money. Of course, you took the bait. That's what we, if you can't take the bait on that, then you should just don't even fucking bother watching anymore. But of course.
Yeah, but then you had this week, the Mets came back full force this week, right before opening day. We got Tyler McGill on opening day.
Tyler McGill is a tough one to swallow. And I get it. I know there's going to be rain. It might not even be played, give Max the extra day. It's only 162. You got to worry about 162. But game 1, opening day, you'd like to have a little more than a fucking bullpen game with Tyler McGill. It's
going to need a lot of Mets fans anonymous this year, buddy.
We are there for you, pal. Right now, we have on sale the greatest T-shirt that has ever been created. The O-Buck shirts. Listen. There are 2 types of people in this world. People who need this shirt explained to them and people who don't. It's a Riley Reid meme. It's a porn star getting fucked. We put a hat on her. We turned it into a Mets slogan, and we slapped it on a shirt. Either you buy that or you don't. The people out there being like, what is this shirt? I don't get it. Why would anyone? Why? And then there are the people who are like, I'll take 5 of them. Because you got to know a once-in-a-lifetime shirt when you see it. I'm not saying this is the height of fashion. I'm not saying this is Parisian couture. I'm not saying you're going to see it on the runway. I don't even think you have to wear it yourself. But you got to have it. You got to buy it. So what we decided, yesterday we sold 50 shirts. 50 of the Buck shirts. Plus at least one onesie. I don't know who bought the onesie. You should probably have your children taken away. I would honestly think that Child Protective Services should pay you a visit. I almost feel like a bit of a burden that I need to report that person because we'll have their order number and their address, and I think I'll have to give that to CPS and be like, can you go knock on their door and just check that, nothing bad's going on here, because they bought a Riley Reid, Buck yeah, Mets meme onesie for their child. But we sold 50 shirts and one onesie, and I've decided that when we get to 100, I'm cutting it off. There will be 100 people on the planet Earth that bought the Buck yeah shirts. Buck, you're going to make me believe. And we will be called the 100. We are like the Spartans, like 300, but we're the 100. And that's it. There'll be 9 billion people on the planet, and only 100 of them will have this piece of greatness, and it'll make it like Fight Club. It'll be like the Mets Fans Anonymous members that, like, when you see another member of the 100, you go like, Buck yeah. And you walk by someone in the 100 and one guy goes, Buck, and the other one goes, you're going to make me believe. And it's like our password. And if you want to be in on the 100, now's your chance. Buy them like today, because we're going to hit 100 today. So, like I said, there are 2 types of people in this world. Mets fans who have a good time, like Mets fans who get the joke. You want to be a part of the 100. And the Mets fans who are like, I don't get it. Why would you? Because if you want like an actual nice shirt, look at this one. This one is fucking fire. The actual the polar bear shirt is very dope. Ralph Lauren made like some polar bear shirt. We're like, no. We're gonna make a real polar bear with Petey Polar Bear with the Mets jacket and the bat, like a little sketch artwork. That is a fire shirt that you can proudly wear to the park. But it doesn't make you a member of the 100. We're gonna sell 100,000 of those things. But if you want to be an inner circle member of Mets Fans Anonymous, get your Buck shirts now, you babies. I don't want to take this call at all, but I'm a man of honor, so I'll have to do it. John in Texas wants to know who's fatter.
Yeah. Who's fatter, Bert Kreischer or Tom Segura? You're the expert comedian.
Phew.
I feel like there's one guy that's going to know.
I thought I was going to be, like, included in that. That's how low my self-esteem is now. If I see a call of who's fatter, I'm assuming that, like, I was one of the guys.
Yo, I've been catching myself in the camera, and I said at the beginning, like, this lighting not helping this
good
shirt. And I'm like, is it like me and Kevin? What are they fucking
right,
doing here?
I know.
I'm like, it's me, first of all, but like, fuck.
Dude, that's why I'm so sad that hoodie weather is gonna go away. I mean, I'm sweating right now, but I'd rather be in a hoodie where I don't look fat than like in a t-shirt where I look disgusting. But things are getting ugly. Who's fatter, Tom or Bert? I think it's Bert, right? I don't think that's rude to say. Bert just got that. Bert Kreischer's belly is all that is man. It is like when you look at that man and first of all, he's funny. He's making $1 jillion. He's a movie star. He's a storyteller. He's popular. He is all that is man. And then you top it off with the man belly. And it's like, we're talking about the participation trophy era and the people who are whiny crybabies and all that shit. That's like, Bert's like the opposite of that. And that belly is the personification of it. But I think it's bigger than Tommy Buns. I think that's pretty clear. Let's go to the jerk. Let's talk about the jerking off guy. Oh, is this Big Tone? Is this the Big Tone?
What's up, Kev? How are you? It is
I'm so happy to hear it. If Big Tone does not become a regular caller of the Kevin Clancy Show, I'm going to be so disappointed. I need you to call in every week, and I need you to answer the phone. Big Tone here.
Big Tone here. I will do that. That's my promise to you. Fuck work, Fuck it.
Nah, nobody needs work.
No, listen, I was calling because who jerks off 4 times on an airplane and lives to tell about it, right? If somebody is jerking off next to you 4 times in a row, you are the one who should be going to jail, not the guy jerking off. Clearly, he's on some type of bender, okay? I'm not jerking off 4 times a day ever. I'm not having sex 4 times a day, Carmen Electra, pre-Dennis Rodman. It's not happening. And if you're taking video of the fucking guy, he probably thinks you're into it.
Yeah.
So stop being a fucking weirdo and just report him, okay?
I did say, and this is where I had a moment while I was reading the New York Post article about it. I said, you know what? This whole article could be flipped because it said, like, the woman filmed him to show to authorities. And I was like, are we sure about that? Because this headline could easily read, woman unknowingly films man while he's naked on a plane. This is at least, at best, this is a two-way street. Yeah, you were jerking off, but also that chick was filming you, and she let it go 4 different times. At some point, you're going to take that as a sign that she likes it, and maybe I should go for round number 5, too. Because for round number 4, she didn't say a word to anybody. She just whipped out her camera phone and started zooming in on my dick.
Exactly. And you know as well as I do, she texted like 6 of her friends the video before she reported anyone.
No doubt about it.
She texted it out.
She was texting
Other
the group.
thing I want to know.
Wait, listen. She's texting the group. She's texting the group saying, like, so what should I do? Like, should I say something? And then half the girls were like, no, let him do it. Half the girls said, no, you got to turn him in. And next thing you know, the guy's getting arrested. What else you got, Big Tone?
One of the girls was like, what kind of shoes is he wearing? Does he have money? Maybe look into it.
Exactly. The girls partying with OJ wouldn't have turned him in. They probably would have reached over and started jerking him off for him.
Can you imagine waking OJ up out of a clean sleep? Are you fucking crazy? Zero chance I'm doing that.
As a white girl, a white blonde girl, you wake up a OJ Simpson out of a slumber, there's a chance he just reaches up and cracks your neck like Steven Seagal, man. That's the most dangerous thing I've ever heard.
Yes, flashback central. You don't play with fire like that. The last thing I will say on this jerking off thing, okay, because is this kid a 19-year-old Olympic athlete? I mean, we're talking 4 times in 1 hour.
The reload time. The reload time. Now, I must say, the Post did not specify whether or not he came, because he might have 4 separate times took his dick out. But was there 4 different ejaculations? Because if this guy came 4 times, I think there's a point where it becomes impressive and it almost like erases the legality of it. Like, we'll give you a free pass. You jerk off twice, you're going to jail. You jerk off 4 times, well, now you're just impressing us.
Yeah, no doubt about it. The other thing I want to know, which is a little weird on my part, is like, how attractive was he? Because if he's super ugly, he's getting into like that much more trouble. If he's somewhat good looking, sometimes you get a pass with this stuff.
Dude,
I don't know.
Oh, sometimes
off on the airlines.
You say sometimes, all the time, always. People forget the Tom Brady skit way back in the day when Tom Brady first became the man and he did SNL. They did a skit where they Tom Brady is like sexually harassing a chick, and they let him get away with it. And they're like, yeah, because when you're good looking, you get away with that stuff. And it's the truest, realest skit that's ever been done. If a hot guy jerks off on a plane, that's just called service. That's just called you got a flight and a show. If it's an ugly guy, you're going to the clink. That's just the way the world works.
Yes, no doubt about it. Listen, my promise to you is I will call back in every chance I get. Keep it up. I'll let you go. This show is awesome. Thanks, my man.
That's my guy right there. That is Big Tone, who is one of my favorite stoolies that I've ever met. I met him. He's been around for a while as a fan on Twitter and stuff. And we DM'd and we talked. But I actually got the chance to meet him when I went to Saratoga last year. And one of the most delightful guys. You know what I'm calling it right now? And this is big words that I'm about to say.
Oh, shit.
This is a big proclamation, but I think I really mean it. Big Tone is Clem 2.0. He's the next generation of Clem. He's they are the exact same kind of guy in the sense Clem used to come out to all of our parties. He used to DM with all of us and talk with all of us. He would come out and drink, and we would hang out. And every time I was like, this big fella is the fucking greatest guy going. He's got a great personality. He's funny. He's talented. And next thing you know, bingo, bango, bongo, Clem's got a job, right? Big Tone is kind of it's Clem the next generation. I don't want to say Clem 2.0 because that sounds like better than, but it's just the second coming of Clem. Big guy, ton of charisma, trying to get a job at the Stool, got a good gimmick with the Big Tone thing. I think that he could have his own show like right now today, talking gambling and chicks and life and stuff, and I know he's working hard for it. Give him a follow on Twitter. It's Big Tone here. I really think that he will be here sooner or later. I think he'll get a gig here. The only thing is I hate to co-sign him too much because once I say I like something, Dave will never sign him. So I actually think that Big Tone sucks. Don't get a job here. He's terrible. Hopefully that helps you out there, big man. Let's keep it going. People are pretty interested in the Jerk-Off King. We got the Bunk from Canada. What's up, Bunk?
Not much, man. You?
Well, apparently we're just talking, about this guy jerking off.
So, listen, you're, late 30s, early 40s, kind of in that ballpark-ish, right?
Yeah, unfortunately.
I don't mean to put you on the spot. That's where I am, right? So, here's the thing. You miss that shower window. It's a big production to turn one out anytime during the day, whether it's a Saturday, whether you're even home alone at 11 o'clock at night, wife's in bed, your young one's in bed. You got your incognito tab rocking and rolling with about 8 tabs.
Well, wait, hang on. Let me just back you up. Let me back you up. You're jerking off in the shower every day is what you're saying?
I think no. What I'm saying is, I think that's a common point for a lot of us.
Yeah.
I'm saying if you miss that window, it's a big production. You miss your point in the day.
Yeah.
After that, you're waiting for the wife and the kid to go to bed. You're getting napkins. You're making a runway on your chest.
Yeah.
The
whole thing.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
The whole thing. So how is anyone putting themselves through going through that in a public space? I don't get it. This guy's totally deranged, and she is too for not reporting
letting
it
go down. Yeah. I mean, you're right. Listen, there's a thing. I could make a chart. Thanks for the call, Bunk. I could make a chart of. How would it work? As you get older, your jerk-off time and ability goes down. Those two things are what do they say? Disproportionate or discongruent. I don't know what the fucking word is. As you get older, when you're young, you got all the time in the world, all the opportunity in the world, all the places in the world. When you're older, your dick isn't rising to the occasion as much. You got work, you got kids, you got a wife, you're sharing your living space. The ability to get the job done really does drastically drop. Now, ordinarily, so does your libido, so it kind of goes hand in hand. I mean, there was a time where it was like, I need to do this multiple times a day or I can't even function as a human. Now, sometimes late night, I'm like, oh, would you look at that? Haven't even cranked one out. So I don't know what's worse. I guess if this is a young guy, see, this goes both ways. If it's a young guy on the plane, you could say, dude, come on, you probably already jerked off twice today. Why do you got to go 4 more on our 4-hour flight? You can't put it away for 2 seconds? You've already cleared the pipes twice now. On the other hand, if it's an old guy, you can say, like, what are you even doing here? You don't even need to go once, let alone 4 times now. You're fucking old here. I guess I would lean towards he's older. He's probably had a few. He's got the 30,000 feet hornies. You got to let him slide. I feel like I would let an older guy slide before I let a young guy slide. Young guys are getting laid. Like I said, they have time to do this. The old guy is like, well, that old guy on a plane might be like, this time right now is the only time I have to myself. Before I got on this plane, I was stuck with my coworkers. When I land, I'm going to be stuck with my family. This time in the air right now is the only time I'm technically alone. The only problem is you're not alone. You're in public on a plane. Don't jerk off in the air. Let's go to
Stephen Shea just responded to us. He said, at an earlier point in my life, a handful of women would disagree. Currently, this is pretty accurate.
Wait a minute.
You
You dog, you.
Yeah.
Wow. Is Stephen Che admitting that he also murdered women in his earlier life? What's going on here? What does that mean? Let's go to another Canadian. We got Kyle, who's got a hypothetical. What's up, Kyle?
Hey, Kevin. How you doing?
Good. What you got for me?
All right. So this is also about horny airplane guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to assume that he has an ounce of decency and takes his lustful thoughts, desires, and actions to the bathroom. And also for this hypothetical, we're going to assume that Zaw was not on that flight clogging said toilet. And that also horny airplane guy has the ability to suck his own penis. So let's say he sucks his own penis to completion. Does that count as a cum? Because technically, if you weigh him moments before the cum exited his penis, and once again to weigh him once it entered his mouth and or throat, would be the exact same. So my question for you, Kevin, is: does he count as a cum right away, or only once, conversely, he shits out the cum or pees it out? I'm not sure how biologically that all works. Hours later, maybe once he lands, or later on that flight. I look forward to your answer.
I'll tell you my answer, Kyle. You're fucking weirder than the guy jerking off on the plane. What was that? You know what? I don't want to say that I'm above this kind of talk because I'm certainly not. As a matter of fact, I've made a career off of it. But something happened. Something happened 10 years ago. Almost, let's say it's 9 years and about 9 months because we're a couple months away from the 10-year anniversary of KFC Radio. I opened up the Google voice line for the voicemails for KFC Radio. And I said, go. Whatever you guys want. I didn't give any prompt. I didn't tell you what kind of show I wanted it to be. I just said whatever you're talking about is what I'll talk about. And I got a ton of hypotheticals like this. And I don't know whether that was just because I never knew that. I've done the hypothetical talk as a kid. Who would win in a fight? What if Jordan played Chamberlain? Like things like that, those kind of hypotheticals. I never had done the hypotheticals of like if you chopped your own dick off and blah, 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 you know? But that's what the Stoolies did. And so that's what the show was. And I let them decide that. And for the next 10 years, I had to talk about sucking your own dick and killing your own mom and all the shit that we do on KFC Radio. I'm not going to do it here. I'm not going to let it happen a second time. We're not taking calls about hypothetically sucking your own dick on a plane and swallowing it, and then that doesn't count as coming because you swallowed your own cum, and then it only counts when you get the cum out of your body by shitting it out.
How much are you coming that you're changing the scale?
We're talking, you need like one of those like microgram scientific scales to be like,
fucking science class. I got to tear it first. Like, what the hell is this?
Yo, I do love one of the funniest things I think in TV history is in Succession. Tom Wambsgans saying it doesn't count as cheating if it's a closed circuit loop because he swallowed his own cum. One of the funniest lines ever on television. I absolutely fucking love it. I'm not even going to dignify that with a question or with an answer because there was just your experiment was off. Why are we assuming that he went to the bathroom? Why are we assuming that he did it by blowing himself? Too much wrong with that experiment right there. Let's go down to, let's do some alien talk. We got Gino from Colorado. What's up, G?
What up, KFC? I just got to try and get away from the porn talk a little bit, a little less J.O. and a little more alien talk. So last night I was listening to the rundown and my girlfriend was in the room and they mentioned the aliens and then she paused it and she was like, do you believe in aliens? And I was like, oh boy, there ain't no one better to talk to this about than my man Zaw in the booth. So I told her the whole story and she couldn't believe me. So I'm going to show her this podcast when it comes out later. And Zaw, if you don't mind talking about a little bit about your experience, and then KFC, if you don't want to tell the haters what the people who don't believe in aliens, what they need to believe in.
Yeah, I mean those people who don't believe in aliens at this point are just child. You're a child. You're not a child because children would be like, yeah, there's aliens. You're just an asshole. Yeah, Zaw was very famously pretty much almost abducted, right?
Yeah, almost. Yeah, I mean, they came, visited my junior school in Zimbabwe, Rua. They actually have a ton of documentaries online.
Yeah,
so
like an actual. When we say this, sometimes people are like, "Oh yeah," and it's like, no, for real though. There's like documentaries and movies and shit about this incident where, how many students all had like the same
70?
account?
Yeah, there was about 70 or so.
Yeah, like 70
80.
students all saw. They came and they took their report and they had all the students like separated and they asked them what they saw and every student like drew the same picture or described the same thing and it was basically like a UFO type thing landing on like a field near the school, right?
Yeah, so if you have Netflix, watch the documentary, the Phenomenon, I believe. So I still haven't watched it. Watch the Phenomenon. Apparently, that's on that.
Wait,
there's a ton of.
Can we watch it together?
Yeah.
That would be dope.
I
don't think I've watched it either. I've read up a bunch of shit. But why don't we? Why don't we
do a live watch along?
Yeah,
right?
let's do me and you watch that, and maybe from that, I mean, it would be a long session. But if we watch that and then roll it into Behind the Blog, and we could talk about that along with like just everything else, I feel like a live watch along of Zaz alien. Let's fucking.
I don't think I don't think I've actually revisited the event whatsoever.
Go.
The only thing I've done is done Google searches on the images to show the pictures.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna break it down then. We'll watch the documentary. We'll see if you have any like memories that are different or are the same, or you can expand upon it or whatever.
I can barely remember what I did yesterday.
I know that's what's. Well, you know what's funny though?
Since I've memorized the story.
Is when you watch these documentaries, true crime and stuff. It's like, you're talking about stuff that happened years ago, and when people are like, so, I saw the red car go by and turned right on that street, and it's like, did you? You don't fucking remember that,
I remember what I did yesterday.
That's like even when Kirk Minahan was covering the case, and it was that girl disappeared, and it was like everyone in the neighborhood had a different story or a different account, because who the fuck's gonna remember 15 years ago,
Yeah, I mean, I'll be the first to tell you, I don't remember shit from that. It's just each and every time, ever since that day that happened, each and every time I met someone new, I've been having to tell the story to every single person.
Well,
so I've memorized the story.
It's like a cocktail party story at this point. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll sit down, me and Za, and we'll watch the Phenomenon, talk about close encounter with an alien. I did see Joe Rogan posted something like a new alien report. I thought this was funny because I never thought about utilizing this, but this was from Live Science. They said he posted a screenshot of the article. It said UFOs left radiation burns and unaccounted for pregnancies in a new Pentagon report.
Here we go.
Now, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Za. Your girl comes home knocked up, and you haven't had sex with her recently, and she tells you it's because there were UFOs in the area. That's not UFO sightings. That is not extraterrestrials. That's not an encounter with an alien kind. Your girl's a hoe. Your girl's a hoe bag, okay? Any chick out here blaming pregnancies on aliens is knocked up at a time she's not supposed to be, all right? Because otherwise you would just be like, yeah, my boyfriend fucked me. I guess if you're totally single and you haven't had sex with anybody, we can talk about some immaculate conception alien pregnancies. But otherwise, if you're out there getting dick down at all and you got a bun in the oven when you shouldn't, just go ahead and blame it on the alien. Just say it's on the aliens, man. I don't know, honey. I've been in bed with you every day. It must have been E.T. It must have snuck in here in the night and inseminated my ass with some alien cum.
Why did the alien look like my coworker? Like, yeah.
Boy, that alien was black, huh? That baby came out black. That would be so fucking funny, man, if you tried to blame an alien, a UFO sighting, and you all of a sudden get pregnant. Now, but here's the deal. I mean, we're talking Pentagon reports. Like, that's the real fucking deal, man. This Freedom of Information Act is, I feel like it's bullshit. Half the time you request something, they just, like, say no, or they send you, like, some majorly redacted reports. But the fact that some people just take the time to request it and that the government, quote unquote, like technically has to send it to you. Some interesting shit though. 1,500 pages of UFO related research was declassified. But I'll say this. I've said it before. I'll say it again. People like aliens and alien stories and alien talk when it's just that. When it becomes 1,500 pages, like I'll tell you right now, I am fascinated by aliens. I love it. It's one of my favorite conversations. You guys have heard me talk about it for hours, and the tinfoil hats and my theories and ancient aliens and the documentaries and all that shit. I love it. And now they're like, okay, well, hey, here's 1,500 pages. Go read about it. And I'm like, nah, no way. Oh, you mean I could get the answer I'm looking for? No, thank you. Not going to read that. It's fun to talk about it. It's fun to read like one article on it. I want everything to be summed up in like an hour-long documentary. But the minute that the government is like, here you go. Here is all of our UFO information. Here's what's true. Here's what's false. You guys were right. Some of these things we do know. Some of these things we don't know. And everyone's like, yeah, never mind, don't care. It's the allure of the mystery of it all. If you solve the mystery and just say, here's the report, nobody actually wants to read that. But what they do want is someone to read it and then summarize it. And then so somebody do that, and then I'll summarize it on 1 Minute Man. So I'll summarize the summary. But if anybody out there has read those Freedom of Information reports, I think they put it, I don't know about this one, but the other one, they just made a website that was like a dump. They just dumped all of their papers out on the website. You can just like go to it right now and read all the reports, and nobody did it. It's kind of one of the slickest things the government ever did. It's like they had like UFO conspiracy theorists like banging on their door asking for the truth. Everyone was fucking Mulder and Scully trying to find the government secrets. And then they decided to release them, and it's like they're hiding in plain sight. It's like they called our bluff. People being like, we need, the truth is out there. And they were like, fine, here's the truth. Go ahead and read it.
I remember when they first dropped that, because you were like talking about going through it. Then we went to the site. It's all the blue hyperlinks.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, and it's doc A, file, section, this.
But it's there.
It's
you know
very,
what I mean?
it's smart where it's like, you see those and it's like, that's a cancer link. Don't click on that.
Yep,
like,
yep.
You've just been trained to not want to click on it.
You don't want to click it. You don't want to read it. It looks like you're doing homework. But it's like they can't, you can't tell me that they're hiding anything. Here you fucking go. And everyone's like, yeah, nah, I don't want to read that.
Someone could probably make a killing on YouTube. Just every single day, you just read one.
If you made that your job, yeah.
Put a little music behind it so it keeps it going, and just read these boring-ass documents, but then, and analyze them, break them down.
Right, if you're smart enough to know. That's the problem, too. It's all written in, government speak and legalese, where it's like I probably wouldn't even understand what the fuck they're saying to me. But aliens, they're basically all but confirmed at this point. Do a couple more questions before we wrap up here. OJ has been a topic today. Danny in New Jersey, what do you got on the juice?
KFC, what's up, bro?
It's cooking, dude.
Nothing, man. I just had a question for you. I saw your video the other day on OJ, and I know this isn't about aliens and UFOs, but OJ is probably the closest thing to an alien on this earth that we know of, so it's sort of this discussion.
What do you got? It's fine.
Do you think OJ, speaking of aliens coming down and banging girls, do you think OJ banged any of those teenage girls, however old those girls were, last week that he was with?
Danny, 100%.
Okay, thank God. I just
want
to make sure.
I don't even know if I want to throw a thank God on that. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I would probably lean the other way and say, God damn it, because I don't think I want to live in a world where OJ is still getting pussy at 74 off of the coattails of being a double murderer, allegedly. And I don't think I want to live in a world where girls are looking for that. But, man, Zah, you weren't here for that part. We were talking about OJ because there was this video with these girls who look like they're probably at the University of Miami. And they're tall, blonde, white women who look just like Nicole Brown, and he's sleeping in bed, and they're waking him up, and they want to party with him, and I'm just like,
God, what are you doing at OJ's crib?
Right? Like, dude, you don't ever want to be involved. Like, I was on Chris DiStefano's show this week, and I said, would you interview OJ? And he was like, absolutely. And on the one hand, as a radio host and as a interviewer and a speaker and all that shit, I would be fascinated to interview OJ, assuming that we could have a real talk I don't think he would be open to talk about the stuff we want to talk about. I would love to have a real discussion. But on the other hand, I'm like, could I even, like, whenever people talk about OJ as, like, an interesting character, because there's no doubt he is. It's undeniably, like, primal interest in this, right? Because he was a superstar. And he was funny, and he was beloved. He was like The Rock back in the day. He was like The Rock of the 70s, right? And then he did the unthinkable. And it's like, how can anybody, any human, let alone the most enjoyable of the time, commit such a heinous act? And on the surface, that is fascinating. I want to break that down. I would love to get inside that guy's mind. I would love to hear him talk honestly. On the other hand, when I'm watching the shows and the documentaries and the articles and shit, and you see the Goldman family who are, like, weeping, being like, my son got absolutely massacred by this animal, allegedly, and, like, we lost our son for no fucking reason, and everybody just kind of, like, there's SNL jokes about it, and there's, like, spoofs and movies, and, and I'm always like, man, that is, like, when you humanize it, it's like, yeah, no, we shouldn't give this guy any sort of time of day, let alone prop him up. So part of me thinks that. It's like I wouldn't even – not saying that, going on my podcast is some grand appearance that would really make a difference, but just for myself to be like, yeah, I put that dude on and, like, put him out there. And someone like the Goldman family has to be like, yeah, no, that's the guy who fucking – think about if anybody else came through here and I had some guest on, I was yucking it up, and they were like, yeah, no, that guy murdered 2 people. I'd feel like an asshole for ever having him on my show. And it seems like with OJ, people just kind of, like, give that pass. But I do admit it would be absolutely just morbid curiosity to get inside the mind of somebody who's done that. And I did have that. Remember we had that Mobster on, Za?
That was wild.
Were you on that day, CCK? We had Johnny, Johnny Altice, Johnny Alice or Altice. He was just like, yeah, man, I murdered a bunch of people, but I'm, like, good now. I reformed. What? And he admits it. He said it was wrong. He wasn't glorifying it, all that shit. But it was weird to talk to a person who admittedly had murdered multiple people.
Actually, I remember that because I had people in my DM saying, oh, he's not a fake. He's a fake mobster.
Yeah, you know what?
I don't even fucking know about that.
I remember Jeff Nadeau being like, he's a rat. He went against the code. It's like, fuck your code. Fuck this mob shit where all you guys just glorify rats and murderers and skells and thieves. It's like, no, these are bad people. He was a bad guy too. He went against the code when everybody was snitching and the whole thing fell apart. And now he's like, at least trying to reform and all that shit. Fuck that noise. It was interesting though. So I do admit talking to people who have gone to that extreme is quite interesting.
Yeah, that was one of those interviews that I wasn't, like, part of CCK at that time, and I was just like, I'm gonna listen into this because I need to know what the fuck gets said.
Yeah, like, no, it was,
and then fill in our PR just in case.
Just in case. We got 2 more calls quickly. I want to go to Alex in California talking about Feidelberg because this was one of the funniest clips in a long time. What's up, Alex?
Hey, KFC, how we doing, man?
Good. What do you got?
So just kind of yesterday or 2 days ago when Fights was, like, laugh crying in the studio, and that was captured online.
It was the funniest shit in the world, dude. I was
like dying. Legit. Was that legit crying or that like tears from laughing?
No. Oh, well, we don't know. And that's the beauty of it, Alex. And neither does John. John Feidelberg had such a disgusting, despicable, no good day where he ate like a pig and behaved like a pig. You smell like old lobster. You smell like old lobster, old French onion soup, old tuna fish, cologne and lotion. You're disgusting. I don't know if I'm crying or laughing. He had tears legitimately streaming down his face. He didn't have a chance to shower, so he didn't shit, he didn't shower, and he just had a ton of old food in his belly, and all he did was put lotion and cologne on so that he didn't smell, which just made it worse.
That's the worst
thing. That's the worst thing you can do, right? And
do not put cologne on when you have a shower.
No. and he was so down on himself, but it was still so funny that I think that was a little bit of both. That was some laughter and some like depression all coming out at the same time.
In the studio yesterday, it just kept going after that. It was like
that was about half the clip, and then
Because we were in there for like 3 hours, and he just kept adding on to him. Like, what the fuck have you been doing
He ate
in
wings
the past
after
24
that.
hours?
I don't think he's shit yet. I mean, he is.
He had like 6 different types of animals in his stomach.
I said he's a shark. You cut him open, and a license plate's going to fall out. Last call of the day. You know what that means. It's our tradition here on the Kevin Clancy Show Live. We got Corey from New York. What do you got for us, Corey?
What's up, my genius friend?
How are you, pal?
I'm good. So last week I was thinking of what I could ask you this week, and this was before your 2 starting pitchers got hurt. So I had a proposal for you.
Okay, hit me.
Before you reject this, obviously you're a Mets fan. I'm a Red Sox fan. So I was thinking if the Mets finish better and record-wise by the end of the season against the Red Sox, I will let you or Fights or whoever put me through a table when you guys come for a live show in Buffalo.
Okay.
If the Red Sox beat the Mets in record, then I get the opportunity to go to Barstool for the day and just to see everything you do.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll make that bet. I've always wanted to put someone through a table. So, all right, It's a season bet. I mean, it's very unwise of me right now to make any season win total bets with the Mets because of what they're going through. But fuck it, we'll do it. If the Mets win more games than the Red Sox, we're throwing Corey through a table when we head to Buffalo. And if the Red Sox win, you get to come tour Barstool for the day and hang out in the KFC radio studio. I'll take it because it puts some juice out there, and I think that sounds like good content. And I know what good content is, right, Corey? Tell the people why.
You are the most underrated genius in the world. Stand next to me.
That's it for today. Shout out to Corey and everyone else who called. No shout out to O.J. Simpson. Please, ladies, please don't have sex with O.J. Simpson. See you next week on the Kevin Clancy Show.